All right, welcome to The Explainer. We're going to talk about what might just be the most important company you've never, ever heard of. I mean, seriously, it's a company so fundamental to our modern world that without it, the very device you're watching this on, it just wouldn't exist. So, just take a second and think about the tech all around you. Your phone, right? The computer you work on, that smart TV, even the electronics packed into your car. Now, what if I told you that all of it, every single piece of that amazing tech relies on these massive, mind-bogglingly complex machines that only one company in the entire world can build? It sounds crazy, right? Well, that company is ASML. You might not know the name, but they are the hidden giant of the tech world, the linchpin. They're the one company holding the entire semiconductor industry together. And let me be clear, without them, the digital age, it just stops. So, here's what we're going to dive into. First, we'll get into why this company is so incredibly crucial. Then, we'll look at how they actually print microchips. It's wild. After that, we'll check out the numbers behind this powerhouse, and finally, we'll look at their future, both the opportunities and the risks. Okay, let's jump right in. Why do we call them the world's most crucial company? I know it sounds like a big claim, but stick with me. It's because they are, quite literally, the foundation of our entire digital age.
You know, if you look at their official mission, it sounds almost simple. They say they help customers define the patterns that chips are made of. But patterns is maybe the understatement of the century. We're talking about microscopic, insanely complex circuits, the brains inside every electronic device you own. So to be super clear, ASML doesn't make the chips themselves. They make the only machine in the world that can make the most advanced chips.
And who are these customers lining up for their machines? Oh, you know, just the biggest names in the business. We're talking Intel, TSMC, Samsung, the Titans. All of them depend completely on ASML to make their best stuff. It's pretty simple. If you want to build a cutting-edge chip factory today, your first and only call is to ASML. There is literally no plan B. All right, so how on earth do they do it? What's the secret sauce? What is this technology that gives them this iron grip on the entire industry? Well, it all comes down to a process that sounds more like something out of a sci-fi movie. Basically, they paint with light. The tech is called lithography. And honestly, ASML's own way of explaining it is perfect. Just imagine a really advanced projector. It shines light through a blueprint, or a mask, of the chip's design. Then, this unbelievably complex system of mirrors and lenses. We're talking mirrors so perfect only one company, Zeiss, can make them. Shrinks that pattern way down and focuses it onto a silicon wafer. The real magic is the light. The finer the light's wavelength, the finer the brush you're painting with. And that lets you draw these impossibly tiny details.
And this process is just painstaking. The machine prints a pattern, then it moves the wafer just a tiny bit. We're talking nanometer precision, and prints the pattern again, and again, and again, until the whole wafer is covered. But get this, that's just one layer. The chips in your phone right now, they could have over 150 of these layers all stacked perfectly on top of each other. It's like building a skyscraper of circuits, just microscopically small.
Look, it's hard to even wrap your head around how small we're talking. So here's a mind-blowing fact to help. In the few seconds it takes you to read this sentence, your fingernail just grew about 10 nanometers. That's the scale they're working at. That's the level of precision they have to nail constantly. In this right here, this is what gives ASML its moat, its unbreachable advantage. For years, the whole industry used a technology called DUV, or deep ultraviolet. It's still the workhorse for a lot of chips, but for the absolute best, most powerful chips, the ones powering AI and everything next gen, you need something else. You need EUV, extreme ultraviolet. And creating and controlling EUV light, it's one of the most difficult engineering challenges humanity has ever tackled. It took decades and billions of dollars, and in the end, ASML is the only company on the planet that cracked the code. It's not just a competitive edge, it's a complete, total monopoly on the future.
So, okay, a total monopoly on a technology the entire world needs. What does that do for your bank account? Well, let's take a look at the staggering numbers behind this financial powerhouse.
Yeah, as you might expect, this monopoly has fueled some truly explosive growth. I mean, just look at these numbers.
Their sales went from about 12 billion euros in 2019 to almost 28 billion in 2023. That's more than doubling their revenue in just 4 years. That's not just growth, that's a rocket ship. And it's all fueled by our world's never-ending hunger for more and faster chips.
So how do you defend a monopoly that's built on, the laws of physics? You spend a lot. In 2024 alone, they're pouring 4.3 billion euros into research and development. Just to put that into perspective, that's more money than some small countries make in an entire year. And it's all focused on one thing, staying so far ahead of the curve that nobody else can even think about catching up.
And what does that massive spending get them? Well, it gets them a line of customers so long it stretches out for years. At the end of the second quarter of 2024, their order backlog was 39 billion euros. Now, that's not a sales projection. That's a real, concrete, multi-year waiting list. These are companies that have already put their money down for machines that cost hundreds of millions of dollars each.
Okay, so this incredible position of dominance naturally leads us to think about the future. What's next for the king of chips? What's going to keep this train moving? And what are the big risks that could derail it?
Well, the things that are going to drive their growth are pretty much all the biggest buzzwords in tech right now. You've got the AI revolution, right? The Internet of Things, 5G everywhere, massive data centers, you name it. Every single one of those trends needs one thing: more powerful and more efficient chips. And that means every single one of those trends needs ASML.
And if you want to know where that demand is coming from, this chart tells the story. In the second quarter of 2024, look at that. Almost 75% of new orders were for logic chips. These aren't just for storage. These are the processors, the brains of the operation, that are making the AI boom happen. It's the clearest sign you could ask for that AI is directly driving ASML's business.
But it's not a totally clear path forward. The very same dominance that makes ASML so powerful also makes it a huge target in global geopolitics. Things like export bans and trade wars. That's a major, major risk for them. And even though they own the top-end EUV market, they still have to fight for business in the older DUV market. Plus, they rely on a very small number of super specialized suppliers, which is always a risky spot to be in.
So, let's just boil it all down. What do you absolutely need to remember? 1. ASML is the linchpin. They are the only source for the EUV tech that makes all advanced chips possible. 2. They're the engine of progress. Their machines are what's enabling the AI revolution and pretty much all future tech. And 3, all of this makes them a massive strategic choke point, a company that's just as important geopolitically as it is financially.
And that leaves us with one last big, critical question. In a world where technology and supply chains are basically the new global battlegrounds, can one single company, no matter how amazing, hold on to this kind of power? The future of, well, everything digital might just hang on that answer. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.